Yeah, fair enough. Go on.
When I'm talking, let me
Yeah,
finish.
I will let you finish.
And then you'll see afterwards, yeah? So the point I'm making is this, right? The point I'm making is this, right? Is that there are certain, for example, creation.
Yeah.
That's contingent, dependent. So for example, God isn't necessarily creative. Okay? He chose to create at some point. Okay? Whereas love, justice, things like that, goodness, he is essential to his nature. There cannot be a time he exists when he's not loving, good, just, things like that, okay? But when it comes to things like creation, yes, you cannot be a father or you cannot be a mother before you have children. Just like you cannot be a creator before you have created. So it's not contingent, it's not necessary. It's contingent, it's dependent on his choice to design, create, or not to.
Fair enough, yeah.
Do you understand that?
Yeah. Okay. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Is love contingent?
No.
Your whole argument is about contingency of love, that you need someone to love. And now you're saying it's not contingent.
Are you not listening?
Wallahi, this guy doesn't know the meaning of the word contingent.
Are you not listening to the argument?
You just said it's not contingent.
Okay,
Did you say
I'm
that?
going to cut you. Can I
Okay,
answer
good.
that? Yeah.
First and foremost,
No, I didn't answer what you just said.
no, before you do that,
No, you don't even
Godwin, I will let you answer. Listen. First, tell us the meaning of the word contingent. It means dependent, right? Does contingent mean?
Are you answering me?
Okay, I'll ask you. What is the meaning of the word contingent?
The word contingent is dependent.
Thank you.
On another thing, right? Okay.
Same like love, right?
No.
Honestly.
Love. Let me explain to you again. Love is necessary.
Why?
Okay? Because God, in His very nature, very essence, is loving.
Where does it say it's necessary?
His very essence is just.
Show me where it says necessary. Where does it say that it is necessary for God to be loving? Where does it say that?
If you see, where the problem is going, we can use words. Okay, we don't have to use the Bible to describe the words. Just like in the Quran, you can have descriptions. For example, descriptions of the oneness of God. You may use the word tawheed, but it's not necessarily in the Bible. For example, in the Bible, we have words like omniscience, omnipotence, omnipresence. We even have the word Bible or Trinity, but they're not written in the Bible. However, we use these words as a descriptive method.
It's contingent, right?
Now,
You're going on a tangent again.
Now, what I'm saying to you is this.
Is it contingent? Love. You said no.
So you're not going to cut me.
Because you're going on a lecture mode now.
No, because
Remember we agreed not to do a lecture?
I said it clearly.
What?
First time, I'm going to say it for the last time. Love is not contingent, it's necessary. God is always eternal.
No, wait.
That's why Allah makes no sense.
Godwin, you know why you
Allah makes no sense.
wait. You know why you're doing word gymnastics here? I'll tell you what. He went, bro. Wait a minute. Godwin, are you going to talk to me?
No, but I'm waiting for you to answer now.
I will.
Ridiculous.
You know what you have done
Why
that?
can't you defend Allah?
First you said,
Why can't you defend
I
Allah?
am. First you said, love is something that you need someone, an object to be loving.
Did you switch this off?
Seriously, come on. Seriously?
Alright.
You guys don't have your own cameraman or a microphone. He's depending on the Muslims, and even then he doesn't trust them. This is Godwin for you. Okay, anyway, are you going to listen to me now? Okay? Listen. First you said, is love like being a creator, the attribute of loving and the attribute of being a creator, are they both not contingent?
No, well, you're missing.
Because what you have done that, you use the word necessary. Instead of using the word dependent, he switched to the word necessary. I noticed that maybe you haven't. Because I'm talking about dependency. In order to be loving, you need to have an object. I am. Because you...
I'm going to say for the last time.
Yes, you said it's not contingent.
Right. I said the word contingent.
Yes, means
that it's the same as dependent.
Yes.
Necessary is completely different.
So why use it?
Okay, so what I'll say for the very last time, if you don't get it, then go home, study, research what the words are, and then come back and discuss.
Yeah.
But right now you don't understand.
Thanks for the explanation.
I'm going to say for the last time.
I don't know how to research.
I'm going to say for the last
Need to learn from Godwin.
Yeah.
By the way, Abraham is the prophet. Sorry, David is the prophet.
Okay,
go on. Go on.
No. When you're losing, you resort to ad hominem.
Sorry. Oh, ad hominem. I see. At least my point made him assume.
I should losing now.
Okay, carry on.
Okay. So I was saying for the last time. He said that no one's going to get involved. No, he said no one's going to get involved. Is he getting involved in it?
Listen, for both of you.
Carry on.
Is he getting involved in it? Okay.
Okay, Sheikh Muhammad.
This conversation like this, I mean, this is not the right matter. Just a minute.
Oh.
Now here, you need to listen to him, and he needs to listen to you. Otherwise, there is no kind of
blame it on me.
discussion. Otherwise,
All right. You have been talking more than me, and you know that. And anyway,
can I ask you something?
don't change the topic now. Don't change the topic. You're very good at that. We won't let you that. Okay. By the way,
after you finish.
yeah, sure. Yeah, that's fine.
Can you make a statement for me?
No, don't go by streets. Okay, Godwin, listen. You said love was not contingent. Am I right? Am I right? Yeah, you were giving a lecture. You haven't finished it yet.
I'm going to say it for the very last time.
Yeah.
If you fail to understand it, there's nothing I can do for you, my friend.
That's fine. I don't want you to do anything for me. Thank God.
The last time.
Yeah, go on.
I want to hear it.
Okay, Allah doesn't make any sense. The concept of Allah in the Quran is illogical and incoherent. Because one of the things
that is the Trinity. Okay, carry on. You're preaching. Now you're preaching. You're preaching now.
You're preaching. You should stop until you finish.
Exactly.
You're preaching now.
You're going to stop now.
You're going to preach. You're going to preach. I'm going to preach.
You're going to listen to Sheikh.
Yeah, Hashim.
Carry on.
Let him finish.
Thank you.
Don't fall for his psychological tricks, Sheikh Muhammad. Trust me. Trust me on this.
A psychology?
Yes, psychological tricks.
You said listen to
Are you going to finish your lecture or not?
Are you going to listen to me?
Because you agreed earlier that you will not give a lecture. You will talk for a reasonable time and then you'll go. Still, we haven't touched on the topic, which is the Trinity. Okay? This is what Godwin does. I asked him to show me any evidence from the Bible, which is clear-cut, where God has advocated that he came as three persons, or he manifested as three persons. And this is what he hasn't shown us yet. And this is what I want to basically go on. So go on, show us the evidence. Show us the evidence.
Sheikh, will you let me talk?
Show us the evidence.
Listen, do you agree, for example, 1 minute each?
No, Sheikh Muhammad, listen. Before we agree on the even time. No, listen. The topic. Listen. The topic.
Don't argue the Sheikh. Why are you fighting the Sheikh?
Are you defending me? I don't need no one to defend me.
Exactly. Keep quiet. Keep quiet. Listen, he can talk himself. Oh, really? I respect. Sheikh Muhammad, do I respect you?
Yes, you are.
Thank you very much. So you're a liar. Number one. Number two. Before this dialogue began.
What's the creation?
Do you mind? I'm talking. It's wrong to interrupt when the elders are talking. Okay, so listen to this. We had a topic of the Trinity. Yes. So far, he stuck on does God love anyone before he created anyone. I asked him a very simple question: was God a creator before he created anything? And he said the word creator, or the term creator, or the attribute creator, is basically contingent. That means it's dependent on something. And then his full argument was basically about love being contingent on an object to love, but he doesn't even realize that. Fall your face.
He mentioned something.
Okay, hold on one second.
Did you understand that?
Can I finish what I'm going to say?
You're giving a lecture. Godwin, you're giving a lecture.
He doesn't understand what contingency is.
I've explained to you what it means.
Right?
So stop lying.
Conflating it with necessary. And I'm saying to him,
contingent got nothing to do with necessary.
Okay. Now, I'll explain it for the very, I said it, but this will be the last time. Because you don't understand. Okay. Right.
Oh, yeah, right.
See, now he's talking. Now he's talking. Okay.
Don't give him excuses, guys. Carry on.
Can a Christian speak?
Carry on.
Yeah.
So, necessarily, Hashim, you need to understand these basic English words. Necessarily.
Will you stop being condescending? Because you've been doing that a lot.
Can I talk?
Yeah, without being condescending.
Okay.
Carry on.
Necessarily is different from contingent.
Will you shut up? This is like you told him to shut up. I want you to shut up.
Quiet.
I will if you guys shut
No,
up.
you be quiet. How many times more?
You told them to be quiet, so I'm telling him to be quiet.
No, you need to listen to me.
I am, but if he keeps quiet, I'll listen to you. Carry on.
Okay, listen. Good. What do you do?
No, I tell you, he does my head.
You give a lecture. Just be short and
Oh,
concise.
come on, man. He's been speaking for the last 20 minutes, and I'm saying one
Let
thing.
him finish. Just finish it.
Finish it. Yeah, please do. Everybody's waiting. Get it over with.
Let's start this. So what I'm saying to you, okay, right, is that Allah, the concept of Allah, makes no type of sense. Why? Because you say that the concept is one being, one person. But yet you also say, which is a contradiction, is that he's all loving. Okay? Now all loving means that he has to have an object of love. Just like I read from you the definition in the Greek, which is agape, which is it's the love of another thing or someone else. Okay. And so what we then went on to is the attributes of God. Now the attributes of God is things like goodness, justice, love.
Creator.
Hold on. these are attributes.
How much longer are you going to speak now?
Sir, are you going to
Because look at this, he's giving a lecture now.
You have to let me finish.
A lecture? It's not 2 minutes, it's been more. It's been more.
A Muslim knows he's losing. Let me tell you what a Muslim knows he's losing.
Is that what you're here for? Winning and losing?
No, because he won't allow me to finish.
Okay, go on.
When someone won't allow you to finish, then you realize
It's been at least 4 minutes now. Carry on. 4 minutes. Carry on.
Okay.
Go on.
Okay.
Last minute for
Be
you.
patient.
Yeah, go on.
Okay. So what we're saying is this, okay? Is that if his very nature is to be loving, okay, he must have an object of love. The question I asked you, which you haven't been able to respond for the last 20 minutes, half an hour we've been here, is if Allah is to be coherent and logical, or the concept of Allah is to be coherent and logical and rational for us to understand, okay, who was he loving before he created the angels or created human beings?
Okay.
Who was he loving?
Good.
Can you answer that?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
That's fine. You know what? At the end of the day, at the end of the day,
Don't be interrupted.
one thing you need to realize with God is that He is beyond space and time. Okay? So for example, God loved His creation before He created them. This is God's love. And this is because God, for Him, He's not contingent on time and space. So to answer your question in short, that is the answer, whether you accept it or not. Now can we move on to the topic of the Trinity?
No,
inception. No, not now. Not now. Carry on.
No.
Don't answer this question.
Okay, listen, we're not. Okay,
Good, carry on.
Okay, so now this is where.
Have I answered the question?
No, it doesn't make any sense.
To you, it doesn't. It was in English, by the way.
No, it doesn't make any sense.
Good.
Right, because you're saying, now what you're saying,
Yeah?
you're saying that God was loving before He was loving.
No, God was always loving.
No,
I didn't say before.
You said.
You're putting words in my mouth.
Yes, you did. You said.
What did I say?
You said before He created,
Yes.
He was already loving.
No, yeah, exactly.
Right. So,
Exactly.
So who is He
Which
loving?
means He's always loving.
So who is He-
I just told
So He's
you.
always loving.
Look.
Before there was any object to
Okay,
love.
you use the
So
word-
He loved
look.
before He was loving.
In order for you to understand.
And you say Trinity is contradiction.
Godwin, shall I tell you why?
Makes no sense.
Shall I tell you why it makes sense? Okay, let me, before you go anywhere, just ignore him, bro, just ignore him.
It's illogical.
Okay, listen to this, Godwin, answer my question. Is God dependent on space and time?
Is God dependent on space and time? No, He created space and time.
Is it dependent on it?
He's dependent on it. Okay, can I explain that, or are you going to allow me to?
I asked you a question, stop, just answer.
Yeah, I explained that. He created all time. He's independent of all things.
Okay, so it's independent of time and space.
Yes.
Good. Did God know that He was going to create His creation?
God had knowledge that He was going to create. Yeah.
Okay. You know that knowledge of the creation, yes, that is whom He loved.
Okay. Let me tell you why.
Is that good enough for you?
That's
Now let's move on.
No.
Okay, good.
It's illogical.
Okay, shall we agree to disagree then?
No.
That's fine. That's
No.
fine.
Does the
Why?
Quran say that?
Say what?
Does the Quran say what you just said?
Oh, wait.
That's a good point.
I asked you the same question.
Does the Quran say
Does the
that?
Bible say anywhere that you need an object to
I
love?
showed you the
He
Bible.
showed me from the
I showed you
concordance, which is not the Bible.
No, I showed you the Bible.
Okay.
So you lied.
Let's
now.
agree to
I showed you the
disagree.
Bible.
No, you didn't show me the Bible. You showed me the Strong's Concordance.
I showed you the Bible.
The Strong's Concordance is not the Bible.
He said he showed you the Bible. Can you repeat, show us in the Bible?
Do you want me to show you the Bible?
Yeah, show me the verse and chapter.
Agape, yeah?
Is that from the Strong's Concordance?
It's in the Bible.
That is, the word agape is there in the Bible, but not the definition. The definition which you showed, that is not the Bible.
This is the Bible. This is the Bible.
Yes?
Yes.
And where's the definition?
It's got the Hebrew and it's got the Greek.
Hit on the
Okay?
definition.
Right.
Now show that to the camera.
I'm going to go to the Greek.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Show that to the camera.
Okay.
Show the
Okay.
Yeah. Is that the Bible?
Okay. This is live streaming.
Is that the Bible?
That's the meaning of the
No,
word.
but is that the Bible? Answer the question.
The Bible
Is that the Bible?
Yes.
I didn't ask you the Greek. No, that's a very dodgy way to say it. Is the definition in the Bible?
It's Greek.
You see what I mean? This is the lies.
What are you talking about?
Because the Strong's Concordance is not the Bible.
I said the word.
Okay, the word is, I agree. Okay, look.
It's time to break.
Okay. Yeah, inshallah. The Strong's Concordance, the definition is not the Bible.
It's time to run away. It's time to run away. But what I'm saying to you is, next time don't ever come and talk about the Trinity.
We're talking about Trinity.
Allah makes no sense. Illogical.
Sheikh Mohammed, listen. He'll play psychological tricks now. I want to finish this and then do the salah. Okay? If you don't mind. Hey, come here. Godwin, come. Come here. I'm not going anywhere. Come here. What
I
happened?
have to go to church.
You said I was running away. You said I was. No, he said to me, but I'm saying I'll pray later. Godwin, come here. Godwin. You see what I mean? All right. Godwin, you have to go to church all of a sudden. Why? Okay. So basically, yeah, give me some water. Jazak Allah Khair.
Hashim, let's pray.
Wait a minute. Okay. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Dear listeners, I want to make this point very clear. The topic today I chose, and which I've been basically asking Godwin for a very long time, more than a year now, was to discuss the topic of the Trinity. And this is what I said, oh wow, wonderful, he's agreed today, finally. And this is the tricks he plays. This is the deceit of these Christian missionaries, and I'm not saying all the Christians are deceitful like him. There are many good Christians out there. But these deceitful missionary Christian evangelists, they basically use psychological games, basically word gymnastics, in order to basically assume that they won the argument. He has not won any argument. He did not even make the point about the Trinity, which was the subject of this discussion. Yes? Finally, he basically used Sheikh Muhammad's basically request to me that let's go and pray Asr. It is time for Asr, this is the time we pray. So he assumed that I basically don't want to discuss this particular topic because I've lost and he has somehow won, and then I am running away. No, that's not the case at all. If I wanted to pray Asr later, I can. This is not the masjid. I can pray Asr as long as within the time of Asr. And that's fine. I know the ruling of that. It's very clear. But he actually wanted some excuse to run away because he knew this is one topic that he cannot talk about. And this is very important that we discuss this topic because this is the central core doctrine of the Christians, which every Christian, in fact, I've asked Jay Smith, I've asked other Christians like Godwin, and I've asked like, what's his name, Daniel, his sidekick as well. I've asked them all to discuss this Trinity topic. They come, they agree, and I thought they agreed finally. But he had some other agenda in his head that he wanted to use to go around in circles just to prove, and even using his own logical somehow argument that he cannot be loving unless there is an object to love. For God, remember, for God, I told him there's no concept of time. So the before and after, that is relevant for us human beings. It's not something that is relevant for when we talk as human beings, we use that language of before and after. For God, that is not something that is relevant. So inshallah, I'll just wrap it up. And this is basically what happens when we actually have a dialogue, hoping with the true intention of having a dialogue and trying to have a dialogue on a particular topic. So without beating around the bush, have the dialogue. Otherwise, don't use trickery.
Brother Hashim, he chose to disclose the subject, and then he deliberately ignored the subject.
Hashim, I watched you play a lot on YouTube. Yeah? Bring up some great arguments. Do you know these are hate preachers?
Yes.
I know. That's the reason we have to confront them. Because these hate preachers are the ones we need to confront. They come here every Sunday to basically preach and advocate hate. And if they go unchallenged, then basically they will just walk over everyone here. They choose targets which are weak. Yeah.
I think that's